Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Another month and another Ultra Pro Wrestling update over on their Kickstarter and Patreon page. We're not going to go over every single detail. It's about a 40-minute update. There's one thing in it I really want to focus on in this video, and it didn't really click with me until he brought it up. And that's the fact that Aki games never really had a referee in them. So he doesn't really have like an idea of what to base it off of when it comes to an Aki games. So in his update, he actually asks for suggestions and help, like show him games and stuff, or give him ideas of what games to go look at, like how a ref would operate in the ring. Well, lucky me, I used to be a referee for DOA Pro Wrestling. Go look them up. They're on YouTube. They still do shows to this day. I ref for them. I wrestled for them a little bit. I mostly ref for them because that was back when I first started, and I learned a lot. So in this video, I'm going to go over what they told me to do while in the ring, and also show off mechanics from old wrestling games that I have in my portfolio here that I've played over the years while making this channel and trying to get content on this channel. I went and picked out snippets from each game that I actually had matches in to try to show off the ref mechanics and to try to give them an idea, Sam, if you're watching, of where to go look, because there's quite a bit of games that had referee mechanics in it. Some of them are really good, some of them are annoying, and some of them are like, why is he even there? So if you do plan on putting a referee in it, which it sounds like you do because you're starting the mechanics like you said in your latest update, I encourage you guys to go check it out. Let's go over these little clips and then go from there. Alright, so we're going to use DaVinci Resolve, and I made a bunch of clips here. First game up is Wrestlemania 19, back on the GameCube. It's a little fuzzy because of my my capture card at the time, and I didn't really have an HDMI setup. So right off the bat, when I was a referee for DOA Pro Wrestling, and those guys have been wrestling for 15-20 years, what they told me to do is to stay in a U shape like this and never block the hard cam. So what you want to do is your referee wants to go, like I said, in a U shape like this. You always try to stay in one of the corners, right? The only time you should pass the camera is if you're trying to get out of the way of the wrestlers, right? And what's cool in this game is there's not a big delay in when he counts. So when there's a pinfall, he's counting right away. Now that could be both good and bad because, and we'll get to that in a second here, in 2K25, the ref always tries to go to the shoulders and look at it. See right here? Counts really fast, it's instant. In the latest 2K25 games, sometimes the ref will sit there and delay for a second and then start counting, which kind of screws you over when it comes to winning the match quickly. So I like how these older games, he counts really fast. I guess you'll have to figure out the pacing and timing of how you want this, how you want the timing, the count to be. I mean, look at that. He's instantly counting. He's not sliding down. Sometimes in this game, he could be all the way to the other side of the ring and he'll start counting. That kind of takes it out of the believability of a wrestling match, in my opinion. Like right there, he should not be counting right there. And yeah, this was a short match. It was pretty funny. He should have kind of went over there. But if there are two blocked in the corner, the mechanics of the ref in the game kept him away from there, so that wouldn't be like trying to get over there and stuck on the ropes or something. So there's that. Now this, I believe, is Here Comes the Pain or Shut Your Mouth. I can't remember which one this was, because I made the same wrestlers in both games. This is old footage. Again, he's staying in a U shape, off camera. He tries to never block the camera. I like seeing my old wrestlers I made. And Strizer was Strife, because I was a big Final Fantasy VII fan. But then when they brought it back and did the remake, I kind of wanted to be my own version of it, so I changed it to Strizer. A little side note. And I thought it sounded cool too, so Strife, Clint Strife. There's the original design of Clint Strife, which is pretty funny. But yeah, if you notice, and this is a multi-man match, what's cool about this is if there's an illegal man in the ring, the ref goes up and does like a grabbing animation, which makes him out of the ring. See, look how far away he's counting. He should like went up a little bit further. I think in the newer games, to its detriment, sometimes the ref will get stuck. Holy crap, forgot he threw me out of the ring. I forgot about that. I like those mechanics where he just warped through the ring post. I forget how fast this game was. This has to be Here Comes the Pain. Yeah, because I think it's the one I played the most. It was so fast, so arcadey. It was really, really fun. It's probably my personal favorite wrestling game. I really liked No Mercy, but this was the one that really got me into the wrestling games. I played this before I played No Mercy, and I went back and played No Mercy because my buddy wouldn't shut up about it. And that game, it's like so different from this one, but it was super fun, and I really liked it. So I like them both. I like them both a lot. But this is the one I started with, was the Smackdown engine. But yeah, so see, he's getting the yellow guy, which is Zack Strizer, my main character's son in the universe I made up when I was a kid. He goes and grabs him, gets him out of the ring. It's cool little animations like this. See, they try to come in and break up the pinfall. It's just, there's a lot of good games. And again, he's trying to stay out of the camera. Now he's going into the camera to get him out of the ring. So I hope those mechanics, I hope it gives you an idea of like, what to do. Alright, so let's, and he's counting from all the way to the other side of the mat. I think that's kind of worst case scenario because there's so much stuff going on, so the game doesn't like crash itself. The ref doesn't crash itself trying to think of like, what am I supposed to do, because he's way over there, I can't get to him. But yeah, and then we go on to Smackdown versus Raw 2007. Once again, kind of see a little evolution of Strizer here, which is kind of funny. They removed the cool spiky hair. I was so bummed when they did that. But this one, the ref has a lot of animations, and I kind of like this, but they repeat too much. Like he's sitting there checking on him every time he takes a bump, or if he's in a submission. I kind of like how he's like, "Are you okay? Can you continue?" I kind of like that, because the ref is supposed to be like officiating the match, making sure everybody's okay, nobody gets hurt. But he kind of does the same animation over and over again. But I do like how he's kind of like looking, because that's what you're supposed to do when you're a referee, rather than just stand there. Like even in 2K25, the ref just kind of stands there, unless you're doing a pinfall or submission. Then they animate. But again, you don't want the same animation over and over and over again. I think it's kind of annoying, honestly. 2007 had one of the best evolutions of the gameplay because they started incorporating joystick controls, and you can position the wrestler how you wanted, do carry stuff. It was such a revolutionary thing. And then they went away from it. They kind of went backwards, and now they still have the carry moves in the latest 2K games, but I feel like it was almost perfect in this one. Because you can transition them, you could pick them up, you can do like spinning power bomb. It was all done with the joystick, so it was really cool. And then they also had the normal moves too. So yeah, this one's, I like how he's checking on, but he should never walk unless it's absolutely necessary and block the wrestlers. The wrestlers should never block the action from the hard cam. That's why they tell us to move into U, kind of stay in the corners, stay out of the way. Get in there if they're doing an illegal move, though, and be like, hey, you got to break it up and count to 5. One thing I wish the games did for the refs is when they're in the corner, really like get in there and be like, hey, and if it's a heel, a really cool thing that you could try to implement is if the heel is, well, should it be the heel or should it be the baby face? Like if the baby face is losing control, right, and he's beating the tar out of the bad guy in the corner, the ref should have to pull him away before it counts to 5. He's like, hey, you need to stop, blah, 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 because it's the baby face, right? Heel doesn't care. He's not going to stop the heel. Check wrestling psychology a little bit, and then you could do that. Sometimes it would be a heel if you're stopping the heel, because then as you're pulling the heel away from the guy in the corner, if he has a manager or something, the manager can, slap him in the face, poke him in the eye, pull his leg, so on and so forth. Hopefully a lot of this makes sense. It's just I'm trying to keep up with the video here. Now we're on to 2K25, and we'll see here in a sec what I was talking about earlier. Of course, I did all hardcore matches in my footage because I hate stupid countouts. See how the ref seems like uninterested? He's just like, you have a little animation, just don't have him stand there like doing absolutely nothing. I think that's kind of. But again, he's staying out of the hard cam. And what's cool about the 2K25 games, even though it's in the corner right now, what's cool about this is the ref always tries to get to the shoulders, to see the shoulders. Because if the shoulders aren't pinned, then how do they win, right? So when you're a referee, let me just rewind this and we'll have it play in the background as I'm talking. When you ref a match, sorry, I was trying to keep up with everything. When you ref a match, always look at the shoulders. The ref should always be looking at the shoulders, because if their shoulders aren't pinned to the mat, technically they're not pinned. And if you're not sure, you can do the hand thing. That would be a cool little feature to add into the game, is where the refs check under the shoulders to see if it's actually on the mat. Because if, fans online, if a ref messes up or anybody messes up, like, look, poor Brock fell on his ass, and they've been memeing it ever since. It's like, people make mistakes, man. You gotta let it go, right? Let's just make fun of these people for months and months and months and months. Like, I'm shocked it's still not, I'm sure it's still going. It's just not as much as it was. The funniest one was Sub-Zero shooting an ice beam behind him and making him fall on his ass. That was hilarious. Like, that was funny. I was laughing at that. But yeah, so hopefully this gives you an idea of like what to look at. I mean, when it comes to reffing, like, another thing is when they're counting out, right? Like, you start off slow until you get to about 6, and then they told us you start speeding up because it builds tension. It builds tension when they're on the outside. So you're like, 1, 2, really slow. And then when you get to like I said, 6, 7, 8, you start speeding up, and that adds tension. Like, oh crap, are they going to get back in time? Are they going to get back in time? And then right before you hit 10, 9 to 10, you slow down again, just to give them a little extra time, just in case. But I'm totally breaking kayfabe here, but WWE totally broke kayfabe, so it's all out there. Anyways, sound off the comments below. What wrestling games do you think Ultra Pro Wrestling and Sam should go look at for referee mechanics in particular? Because it's been so many years since I've played some of these old wrestling games, you never really pay attention to the ref. At least not me. Unless, of course, they don't count fast enough or they glitch out and they're just standing there when I'm like, count, dang it! Or if they don't do the DQ thing or whatever. When they mess up. That's the only time you really pay attention to the ref, and that's how it's supposed to be. The referees are supposed to be invisible until it's time to end the match. Get distracted by somebody to help, give heat to the heel, and get sympathy for the baby face. Or if they're supposed to take a ref bump, and then there's no officiating. Oh, and then the bad guy can cheat, the heel, call in his buddies. The good guys can come in and help. The good guys win, so on and so forth. There's a lot of ref, I want to say ref mechanics, but there's a lot of ref stuff that helps with matches. Anyway, once again, sound off the comments below. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay frosty.